विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्भूतभूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ So what is the nature of I? That's what we were discussing. And one has to go in steps to arrive at the truth. It's saying immediately that I am Brahman. It doesn't give any kind of a click in the mind, right? So one has to slowly discover this. It's a discovery, it's a fact. What is discoverable is a fact. Belief can never be discovered. Anyway, so this one can discover. You have to have a proper inquiry. And well, I said that whole creation is basically divided into two, the subject, the knower, and object of knowledge. We call it as a this. The subject is called as I, the knower is called I, and object of knowledge, etc., is called this. And yesterday we saw also how the physical body, the mind, the senses, the memory, and intellect, knowledge, ignorance, hunger, thirst, everything is an object of knowledge. And I gave you the references for doing this, and I told you where one should have a pause. So once you arrive at that the physical, I am not the physical body. I am the knower of the physical body. It's an object of knowledge. And then you should continue this teaching. I mean, you have to recollect it daily. And in that you need some more material. And I told you yesterday about from the Vidyaya and also in Panchadashi, certain verses, number I have given. Then regarding I am not the mind, I am not the senses, I am not the pranas, etc., I am not the memory, for that, etc. Also in a Viveka Chudamani, there are verses, yesterday could not give the numbers, which means those verses you have to study. My point is, you have those verses you have to study, you get some more material to dwell upon. So verse 94 to 107 in Viveka Chudamani. And also verse 167 to 190. So 94 to 107, and then 167 to 190. These are the verses one should study in order that this Sukshma Sharira, etc. also is an object of knowledge. Mind, etc. is object of knowledge. I am the knower. I am distinct from that. Knower has to be distinct from the object of knowledge, otherwise knowledge will not take place. Suppose object of knowledge is there. There is no subject. Knowledge will not take place, right? And subject is there, knower is there. No object of knowledge. Then what is he knowing? Nothing. So basically, knowledge, when knowledge takes place, there are two things. Knower and knowledge. Knower and known. Then only knowledge takes place. So any knowledge is taking place in your mind ultimately involves this. Sometimes we say three because the knower, the very knowing process and the object of knowledge. So, we say three. Or you can say two. The very knowledge, involves, the knowing process involves the very subject and the object of knowledge, both. Anyway, and therefore all this, we found everything we are able to talk about your physical body, about your mind, about your senses, about your memory, about your ignorance, about your knowledge, about your hunger, thirst, you are talking. And if I ask you that how do you talk about all these things? You said, I know them. You say very clearly, I know them. So if you know them, they are object of knowledge. You should not include in I. You should include in this. So simply, then everyone is left with I is equal to knower. I knower, you know, or he knower, she knower. Even ant also is a knower, conscious being. Ant is knower of an ant body, ant mind, ant hunger, thirst, etc. So ant also, really speaking, the ant, eye of the ant is knower. And therefore there are many eyes, many knowers. Right? As many people are there, now very less people are there. So, yeah. So as many people are here, everyone is saying I. That I in reality is just knower. Therefore there is no difference between he knower and she knower. Yeah. All the differences exist in object of knowledge. Swamiji, he knower and she knower can be there. No. He and she in pertaining to the physical body. And therefore, in knower there is no difference. The differences exist in activity, differences exist in memory, differences exist in senses. Senses power of the senses. Differences exist in the physical body. Differences exist in organ of action. Differences exist in areas of knowledge. Differences exist in ignorance. Ignorance in terms of, with respect to certain subject matter. You will say, Swamiji, I know this subject matter, but I don't know this. I say, what you know, I don't know, etc., like that. So areas of ignorance also, there is a difference. But all is not in I. All is not in I. And therefore, there is no variety in the knowers. But there is manyness as though. That as though I am borrowing it from Vedanta. Yeah. Because ultimately we have to prove ekameva advaitam. Okay, fine. So now, let us say this knower, this word knower has two components, know and er. Er reveals a person. And know, K-N-O-W, know, reveals a function that the person does. That's it, right? Er, like seer. Er reveals a person. And that see reveals a function which that person does. One who sees is seer. One who walks is walker. One who hears is a hearer. Right? One who knows is a knower. So that shows that everyone is a knower. I is equal to knower. But then definitely it is the knower also with reference to certain activity. Seer also, because one who sees, hearer, one who hears, walker, one who walks, etc. So with reference to activity, the I is knower. Therefore, if this is there in my hand, right? Then with reference to this, you are a seer. This is an object of sight. If I keep it, then still you are a seer of my body. This is the object of sight. Still you are a seer. Right? Suppose there is a darkness here. Suppose. You are not able to see anything. No activity. Then you are no more a seer. Seer is dropped. Seer is gone. Are you gone? No. Therefore, this I seems to be a little more a fundamental. Seer seems to come and go. Hearer comes and goes. If I utter a certain word, right, and then you hear it, then, well, you say, then you are a hearer. If I don't utter any word, then you don't hear anything, you are no more a hearer. But the definition of hearer is one who hears. But there is no object of hearing, no sound, then you are no more a hearer. Swamiji, hearer is gone. Therefore, I am gone. Zero. I am non-existent, Swamiji. No, you are very much there to reveal even the absence of sound. So, I is equal to knower is not a final reality. The knower resolves into something, appears. When knower appears, when something is known, when something is to be known, knower appears. Nothing is to be known, knower resolves into its content called knowledge, consciousness, right? Knower stands on what? Consciousness. If there is no consciousness, where is knower? And therefore, basically, I is consciousness. Could you follow what I am saying? Hearer comes, goes. Seer comes, goes. When seer goes, I don't go. When hearer goes, I don't go. Seer comes, I come. No, you are very much there. You are very much there, even aware of that now I am a seer. Now I am no more a seer. Now I am a hearer. Now I am not a hearer, right? So to count a number of knowers as a real, reality, number means you think that, well, everyone is real, really knower. Therefore, there is manyness in knower, is a false statement. The knowledge or the consciousness is the reality of I. Yeah. And now we will have to change the language. In consciousness I, words are heard. Right? In consciousness I, sight takes place. This is how Puja Swamiji used to say. Hearing takes place. You must have heard. Many people of you might have heard him. In consciousness, words are heard. In consciousness, seeing takes place. In consciousness, words are gone, sounds are gone, hearer is gone, hearing is gone, consciousness is still there. To say there is no hearing, there is no hearer, there is no object of hearing, sound. All the three are just, appearing when the activity of object of hearing is there, sound is there. All the three are there. All the three resolve into you, appear into you. Is it true? This is how it is. This is your transactional reality. I is equal to hearer is your transactional reality. They call it empirical reality. It's not totally false, but there is some more truth of I. Here it is not my reality, because that is negated. When no object of hearing is there, no sound is there, hearer goes away. Therefore, hearer is not real. We don't say hearer is not there at all. No, hearer is there, but hearer is not real. In all experiences, this is there, hearer, seer, etc. In experience of hearing, hearer is there. In experience of seeing, seer is there. It's an experiential reality of yourself. Experiential reality. Which is denoted by your favorite word called mithya. Yeah. This is mithya. Mithya means no zero. Mithya means experiential reality. Therefore, everything is experientially real. Everything. I'm not going into world right now. But this is what definition you have to keep in mind. Wherever there is transaction, experience. Transaction could be of two types. So it could be a transaction for knowing activity. In knowing activity is there, or doing activity. They call karma vyavhara and jnana vyavhara. Vyavhara means this transaction. So when this is there, definitely I is hearer, etc. is my status. Now, do you remember my definition of ego? I said when there is some activity, then definitely there should be a subject. And therefore, mind assumes a status of a subject for the activity. Activity of perception, activity of doing something, physical activity, activity of inferring, recollecting, emoting. In all this activity, there should be a subject. So mind assumes a status of a subject. We call ego, karta, pramata, and bhokta, all activity. But Swamiji, mind is inert, that's how I said. Consciousness along with the mind. Consciousness with the upadhi of mind is called ego. That's it. That gives a sense of individuality. Therefore, when you say I am individual, you are referring to a ego, but that is not real. Now you understand, right? Hearer, ego. Seer, ego. Walker, ego. If you don't walk, you are not walker. Swamiji, I don't walk, but I am walker. What is this? Please understand. So with respect to activity, this is there. Knower, etc., seer, hearer, walker. If that activity is not there, or object of sight, etc., is not there, well, then there is definitely that status goes away. Right? That status goes away. The content remains. The content of knower, awarer is awareness, consciousness. That's it. And therefore, when the sound is there, the consciousness is there. When the sound is there, object of hearing is there, consciousness is there. When hearing is there, consciousness is there. When hearer is there, consciousness is there. When all the three are not there, you are there. Consciousness is still there. Therefore, all these three are superimposed upon you. Why I am saying this? Because yesterday I was saying that knowledge, knower, and object of knowledge, all are basically are you, but you are not them. You are content of all the three, basically. Anyway, so when the thought is there, well, you are there. When thought is not there, you are there. Otherwise, if you are not there, if you go along with the thought, then who recognizes the absence of thought? Who recognizes? There will not be a statement on the part of a human being that there is no thought or there was no thought. Someone should be there to experience even the absence of the thought, right? Otherwise, you cannot make a statement. Therefore, you are the fundamental, you are that reality on which whole transaction takes place. Anyway, so basically, sound is there, I am there, sound is not there, I am there, etc., etc. Forms and colors are there, I am there. If you don't see colors and forms, well, therefore you are not there. I am very much there to say that I could not see or I don't see, whatever. So I am consciousness. Now, we have to fly from the body now. Further, in front. Space is, consciousness is. Right? Space is, consciousness is. How can you say, Swamiji, consciousness is? I say, how can you make a statement there is a space? Oh, I'm conscious of. Over. You cannot establish the existence of a space in absence of consciousness. Try. Try. Space is, I am not. Try. You try. In the process, one gets a spondylitis. Yeah. Existence of space. Space is consciousness is. Space is not. Consciousness is. You are not aware of the space. The consciousness is there, even to reveal the absence of a space in deep sleep state. So you exist independent of the space. If you exist in space, if space resolves, you will also resolve. Space resolves, you don't resolve. Existence of space is revealed by what? Consciousness. Therefore, space is consciousness is. Space is not. Consciousness is. Time is. Consciousness is. Time is not. Consciousness is. Sleep is. Consciousness is. So whole experience of sleep takes place in consciousness. And therefore, basically, so it seems my existence is independent of space and time. My existence is not time bound. If my existence is time bound, if time resolves, what is bound by the time automatically resolves. That is how whole world resolves, which is time bound. Right? The world which is time bound resolves when the time resolves. You don't resolve. And therefore, I am the one, who is independent in terms of existence. My existence is not in space or time. Then what is dimension of I? Any dimension you will say, automatically space will come. Try. Any dimension. What's your dimension? What is the height of I? Consciousness. Again, otherwise we will have to start again. I am not physical body. Oh, I am Swamiji 5 feet 8 inches. No. Don't. Keep now today what we are discussing, keep in mind the real I, the consciousness. So therefore, I cannot talk about dimension, a certain height, certain width, certain certain length. Any dimension, measurement you talk, that is, it is within space. If I exist independent of the space, if I exist in spite of the space, if I exist even the space is not there, I don't have a dimension. Therefore, I am called spatially, space-wise, limitless. Somebody asked this question, space-wise, limitless consciousness with respect to space, how it is? Well, that question I am answering. I am limitless consciousness in terms of space. Now, second thing we will have to prove is, I am all-pervasive. See how we should prove. Now, if I am limitless with respect to space, means I'm bound in a space, etc. Then what is the distance between space and I, consciousness? What is the distance? What is the distance between a sun and space? No distance. What is the distance between a hall and space? No distance. What is the distance between space and you, consciousness? No distance. Any distance can be found in terms of space. If I exist independent of the space, space cannot exist independent of me. Means I am pervading the space totally. In that case, there is no distance. There is no distance between space and me. Everything exists in space. Space exists in I, the consciousness. And therefore, what is the distance between anything and consciousness? If you could not appreciate it, I will break it. Like, let's say the moon, what is the distance between I, the consciousness, and moon? Let's say that. What's the distance? Why? Because moon is already consciousness. In case if you say the space, in terms of space, there is a distance. Let's say 186,000 miles, or I don't know, whatever, something they say. My figures will be all totally, false. But the space itself is in consciousness. And therefore, basically, the moon is in space, but the space itself is in consciousness. Then what is the distance between consciousness, you, and the moon? There is no distance. There is no distance at all. Sun, moon, etc. All objects, I just took one object. All the objects exist in space, and the whole space exists in consciousness. Then what is the distance between you, the consciousness, and the physical world? No distance. They exist in you. They are non-separate from you. What is the distance between a wave and water? Why you brought this example? Because wave definitely has an existence in water. It's not like that, we feel that consciousness is like a table and things are whole world is lying on that. They are independent of each other, right? They have a separate existence. I already said anything exists in consciousness because space is, consciousness is. And therefore, you are proving the existence of the space in consciousness. Without consciousness, you cannot prove the existence of the space. Therefore, space exists in consciousness. And therefore, like the wave exists in water. And therefore, or anything, pot exists in clay. Like that. Anyway, so consciousness lends existence to everything, and therefore, basically, there is no distance between physical world and I, the consciousness. Okay. Now again come to the body. This body, physical body, exists in space, correct? Like moon, this physical body exists in space. And space exists in consciousness. Therefore, you, the physical body, exists in consciousness. Are you in the body or body is in you? Think now. Yeah. I am in the body, ignorance. Yeah. Identifying with the body, you say, I am a conscious being, but exist in the body. Or as the body. Not this body. All the bodies exist in space, and the space exists in consciousness. Well, so there is no distance between I, the consciousness, and any physical body. Am I right? Yeah. Therefore, I basically pervade everything. Could you follow that? I pervade everything. They don't exist independent of me. Well, I exist independent of all of them, and I pervade all of them. Swamiji, if I pervade all of them, then I should see that question. I should see that I am pervading. When you see I, you the I, see the I pervading everything, that I is non-I or I? It's an object of knowledge, right? It will not be I, it will be this. This is purely a cognitive appreciation. Cognitive appreciation. You should not, it's not physically seeing, oh Swamiji, if I start realizing this, understanding this, then I will see that I am pervading like this. If you see consciousness, then it is no more consciousness. You are consciousness. Not you see something that is consciousness. You hear something that is consciousness. Ashabdam asparsham arupam nityam arasam nityam agandhavaccha. Kathopanishad said very beautifully. Anyway, so you are basically, Swamiji, that is where the difficulty is. When you said, I am all-pervading, I am all-pervading. Which I? Totally analyzed I, or the I which we have, which you know without an analysis? Well, when you say, Swamiji, I am not able to appreciate it, your I is sitting in the body. If this will not go, this orientation, it's orientation purely, then you will not be able to appreciate I am all-pervasive. I am all-pervasive will not be appreciated if you take I as a body. It's not all-pervading, it is very limited. So that is why I said one should have pauses. Everywhere there are pauses, right? Now, we should have pause. I am not physical body, one has to stay with. Then this kind of statement will be totally appreciated. If you suddenly start, I am conscious, I am knower of everything, knower of everything. Knower, well, Swamiji said, knower is ultimately knowledge, the content of knower is knowledge, consciousness, I am consciousness, and I the space is, and I am there. And ultimately, I am all-pervading, looking out. I consider as this, and you want to see I like that. So you have come back to this, square one. That is why I say, in nididhyasanam, don't do any haste. Nothing is going to, you are Brahman, you will remain Brahman, you are free, you will remain free. Nothing. It doesn't mean after 10 years I will start studying. No, not like that. One Australian told Puja Swamiji that you are teaching that you are Brahman right now in a course. I will go back to Australia, enjoy the life, and I will come back after 10 years, and you will be teaching the same thing, that you are Brahman. Pause. First pause at I am not physical body. Second pause, I am not even ignorance. If you know now the sections. I am not a subtle body, I mean, ultimately. And then this third step. You establish that you are just a knower. Everything is an object of knowledge. If you establish properly with the help of the teaching from other texts, which I gave with the number of verses, then this thing is simple. What simple? I'm telling you, it is very simple then. Orientation that I am physical body should loosen first. Yeah, I am not mind, etc. Because very strong identification with the body, mind, senses is there, because it's an entrenched habit of several lives, beginningless lives. Anyway, so this is I am all-pervading consciousness, limitless consciousness. How many eyes are there? Now tell. We started with I, the knower, are many, if you remember. We understood that knower is just a status, mithya status. Therefore, there are not manyness. When you count many, all are equally real. There is only one I. There are no two consciousnesses. In English also, there is no plural somehow. There is no plural of consciousnesses. Consciousnesses. And limitless cannot be more than one. If limitless is more than one, one limits the other. When you count the second limitless, the boundary of one is over. Yeah. Therefore, you are limitless, all-pervading consciousness. And the entire world, which is, including time and space, exists in you. You are independent of them, they are not independent of you. Their existence is proven in you. Your existence is proven without anybody's help. Nobody has to prove your existence. You prove the existence of everything. You are self-existent, self-revealing. What is self-existent is self-revealing. What is self-revealing is self-existent. World is neither self-existent nor self-revealing. That is called Brahman in Shastra. Brahman means Brih Dhatu. Brih means to be big, right? And here, Brahman is a noun and well definitely reveals. It's not, generally big is an adjective, but here it's a noun. Atma is not an adjective. Yeah. Pujya Swami used to say it in married life, sometimes you become an adjective to the other. Other is a substantive. You are all the time adjective. No. In fact, you are substantive of everything. Entire world is non-separate from you. Adjective is always non-separate from the substantive. Whole world is adjective for you, including your spouse. You should not tell him or her, hey, you are my adjective. Don't say. You won't get food. Everything is a mithya, incidental attribute to yourself. Waveness is an incidental attribute to the water. It comes and goes. It's not an intrinsic attribute. Otherwise, wherever there is a water, there will be a wave. No. Wave is an incidental attribute to the water. Comes and goes. It has a birth and death. The whole world. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. The whole world appears and disappears in you. Right? Including space and time. Therefore, remaining non-separate, it appears and resolves into you. Because non-separate from you, it cannot fly away anywhere. Where will it go? Wherever it goes, has a basis in consciousness. Either you think of future, anything. Either you think of past. Either you think of present, anything. Anything. Even imagination. Your imagination has a basis in consciousness. Your hypothesis, everything, your beliefs has a basis in consciousness. Your emotion has a basis in consciousness. Your recollection, memory, everything has a basis in consciousness. Your perception has a basis in consciousness. What is away from consciousness? What is without consciousness? What is besides consciousness? This is mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. Now, regarding this, I would like to say one more thing. And that is, let us take an example of this pot. Let's take an example of pot. To understand this mithyatva. When I say, what is this? You say pot. I say clay. I say we have used two words. But Swami, we have used two words, but they are synonyms. They are not synonyms. If they are synonyms, whenever you see just clay, you should say what? Pot. Like aqua and water. Whenever you see water, you use word aqua. I use word water. Synonym. If pot and clay both are synonyms, if clay alone is there, you should say pot. I should say clay. No. Therefore, they are not synonyms. If they are not synonyms, then we both are not right. You say pot. Either you are right or either I am right. I say clay. Right? Swamiji, one of them will be more right. Yeah. I say I am more right. Because in your presence, your pot, if I break, right? If I break the pot, somebody thought I will really break it. No, my hand will break, it will not break. So point is, well, if I break it, you will understand, your pot has gone. You will no more use the word pot. But still, I will continue to use the word clay. I am more right than you. The Swamiji, pot has gone. Where it has gone? Pot has gone. Understand this now. Pot has gone. Where it has gone? Where it has gone? It has not gone anywhere. It has not gone anywhere. It's not that real pot was sitting on the clay, right? Or pot was in the clay. Nothing. Pot was on the clay, pot was not on the clay, pot was not in the clay, pot is not from the clay. So, well, pot has not gone anywhere. In fact, for your word pot, there was no object called pot. Therefore, it has not gone. Could you follow? If really there were two objects called pot and clay, then definitely pot breaks because the pot has gone. Then definitely we can understand that there, corresponding to word pot, there is really a word, there is a substance called pot. It's not. It's not. So, corresponding to word pot, there was no substance or object called pot. But corresponding to clay, word clay, there was a substance called clay. And there is substance called clay. So pot was nothing but simply a form. Form has gone. Form of that substance has gone, called clay. That form has gone. For that form we have given name called pot. The same clay, right, when the pot maker gives a certain shape, form, we call it pot. There is really no object called pot. And therefore, basically, pot is, clay is the reality, clay is the substance, pot is an adjective, if you want to say, potness, which is incidental, which has gone now, right? So basically, pot is, clay is. Pot is not, clay is. Now come here. Physical world is, consciousness is. Physical world is not, consciousness is. So all the names and forms are in content, like this name and form called pot has a content called clay. Same way, whole physical world has a content called Satchidananda or consciousness. All names and forms is this Jagat. That names and forms resolve. When this Jagat resolves, names and forms resolves, we call Maya. When they appear again, manifest again, we will call Jagat. But the substance is consciousness, Brahman, which lends existence to everything, which reveals everything, which is the cause of everything, so-called cause of everything, is that Brahman, which is ātmanā, that is I. Therefore, I pervade everything. The way clay pervades the form, right? I pervade everything. Everything is fine. That isness belongs to me because I exist independent of the world, and therefore I always is. And that isness is a common platform for all the names and forms. Therefore, every form is, that is, because being a common plane, That isness belongs to Brahman. Everything exists. And then, well, knowledge also is associated, consciousness is associated. When you say pot is, clay is, this is, that is, he is, she is, it is, you is. Instead of are, I am saying is. Right? All is ultimately has this common platform, non-separate from I, the consciousness. And knowledge is involved. Definitely when you say something is, then consciousness is. Pot is equal to pot consciousness is. And definitely, therefore, this Sat and Chit is a common platform for the entire world. All the names and forms, the physical world, exist in this Sat Chit, Atma, which is basically limitless. That limitless, all-pervasive consciousness is experienced as fullness. Right? Experience of fullness you have in a moment of joy. In a moment of joy, I am very much there, but there is no smallness. If you experience a smallness in a moment of joy, feel a lack in a moment of joy, there is no joy, frankly speaking. When you are experiencing a joy, definitely there is no boundary of you, no limits of you, no sense of lack, no sense of smallness, no sense of limitation. In a moment of joy, your real nature comes forth, because what is superimposed, that sense of limitation, smallness, etc., is dropped. Time being. Yeah. Unless you drop a sense of limitation centered on I, you cannot enjoy. It is dropped momentarily. So in spite of things are limited, body, mind, senses are limited, you drop the sense of smallness, means as though you disidentify with your body, mind, senses for a moment, in a waking state. In a deep sleep state, you disidentify with this body, mind, sense complex for a long time, and therefore you have experience of fullness for a long time. Right? Yeah. I without any limits. That's your experience in a deep sleep state. Right? Therefore, this Sat Chit, the consciousness which is ever existent, ever present, which never goes, in which everything comes and goes, that consciousness, well, is, that Sat Chit is Ananda also, fullness. So you need not have to fill up the limitations which you are experiencing. You need not have to get rid of the limitations which you are experiencing centered on I. The experience of joy reveals that in spite of all these limitations are there of the mind and the senses and the body and everything, you are able to drop them, right? And you experience just yourself. Therefore, in a moment of joy, you are with yourself. Or when you are with yourself, you are a happy person. ātmanā ātmanā tuṣṭha. Sat Chit alone is fullness. Limitlessness alone experienced as a fullness. No limit, no sense of lack at that time, in a moment of joy. Any sense of lack appears, the joy will stop. You are just yourself in a moment of joy. In other moments, you are not yourself. You again identify with body, mind, sense complex. You start feeling limitation. Therefore, you are away from yourself. This is how it is. So, Sthita Prajna section, Bhagavan gave a very nice definition of a wise person. One who is happy with oneself, one who is satisfied with oneself, one who is with oneself. When you are displeased, definitely, you see yourself, which in reality you are not. When you identify with the body, mind, sense complex and feel a sense of limitation, you just can't sit with yourself. Yeah. something will bother you. Something bother you. You yourself is enough to bother. You don't need anybody. You don't need a Swami to bother you. Amazing thing. This is what your glory. Nobody in the world will keep on singing the glory like the Upanishad does. Everyone will say, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Revealing the limitations of other. You forget something in a travel, then she will say, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Ready to find faults. Yeah. This is only Shastra. You are free from any defects. You have not become free from the limitations of the body, mind, senses. You have not filled up all the limitations. You cannot fill it up also. Knowledge-wise, you have limited. Every way you are limited. Emotion-wise, you are limited. Physical body is limited. Its powers, all powers are limited. All are limited. Still you feel the sense of fullness. From where it comes? In a moment of joy, you are yourself. Nowhere else. I is not placed anywhere other than yourself. The moment I is placed again here, you start feeling your limitations. That reveals by nature you are Ananda. Anando brahmeti vidyayā. Anandat deva khalvimani bhutani jayante. Anandena jatani jivanti. Anandam prayanti abhisamvishanti. Tad vijignyasasva. Tad brahmeti. You are that Brahman. Taittiriya Upanishad says very beautifully. Satyam Jnanam Anantam or Satchidananda is the same. That's how I covered everything. And our topic is over. How I am Brahman, I have told you. I am limitless, all-pervading Brahman, or I am Satchidananda. Well, these are the steps. Three pauses, two pauses as such. And in each, this one you basically develop on for some time with the teaching till you assimilate it thoroughly. Then go to the next step. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Now a few questions are left. The people who have asked, whose questions were left yesterday, they are there or not? At least let me know. So that they are not there. Questions are there. The people who asked, they are not there. Wonderful. Then therefore, then there is no question of meeting after the our lunch, etc. Oh. Huh. That's okay. I can reply in case this one. What was your question? Is
It was our questions
together. Okay, I'll just after this I will talk to you.
The verses for the first contemplation that I is not the body.
They are 89 to 93 in Vivek Chudamani. 89 to 93 and 156 to 166. And for Niridhyasanam, very beautiful Vivek Chudamani portion is verse 254 to 417. That's our third meditation. Verse 254 to 417. Excellent portion. That's completely Niridhyasanam topic. Verse 254 to 417. Where various, features of ātmanā has been dwelt upon. For Sukshma Sharira Atma Viveka, I already told you, right? And for mind, I'm not the mind, etc. 94 to 107 and 167 to 190. So now this program, Guru Dakshina. Okay. Swamiji's, oh, where is Swamiji?
Swamiji, I think Swamiji's doing.
Why?
I can tell Swamiji. I thought we do Swamiji. Swamiji's doing.
Oh, okay.